great news here, where the big headline is, of course, that the royal baby is on the way. Prince William and Kate.
Big news just came out about Kate Middleton and Prince William, something huge that no one saw coming. For weeks, people have been wondering what's really going on, and now the truth is finally out. This isn't just any announcement. It could change everything for the royal family in a way no one expected. The palace has been quiet for a while, but now the silence is broken. What did they say? Why does it matter so much? And what happens next? Every detail of this shocking news is unfolding right now, and it's something the whole world is watching closely. The announcement revealed. Just a little while ago, the world heard some huge news from Prince William and Kate Middleton. The royal couple shared that they are expecting their fourth child. Yes, you heard that right. The Prince and Princess of Wales are going to be parents again. This surprise announcement has taken everyone by storm, and people everywhere are already celebrating. The announcement came through an official statement from Kensington Palace, which was also shared on their social media pages. The post read, "The Prince and Princess of Wales are delighted to share that they are expecting their fourth child. Both mother and baby are doing well. The family is grateful for the kind wishes from everyone." The palace also confirmed that Kate is in the early stages of her pregnancy and is resting at home with her family. Royal fans from around the world are now wondering when the baby is due, whether it will be a boy or girl, and what name they will choose. The buzz is real, and the excitement is growing every minute. The context behind the announcement. Many people are now asking, why now? What made them decide to share this news today? And honestly, the timing of this announcement is very interesting. For the past few months, there's been a lot of talk and worry about Kate's health. She had been away from public events for a while, and fans were wondering if everything was okay. Now, it all makes sense. Kate was likely resting and taking care of herself because of the pregnancy. Sharing the news today clears up all those questions and rumors. It also lets everyone know that she is fine, and there's a beautiful reason behind her absence. Also, this announcement comes right after a few major royal events. Recently, Prince William took on more duties on behalf of King Charles, who has also been dealing with health concerns. So, this news brings a bit of joy and light to the royal family during a serious time. If we look a little deeper, there may be a special reason behind choosing this particular time to share the news. Kate and William made the announcement right after Mother's Day celebrations in the UK. It feels like a beautiful way to honor motherhood and new beginnings. It's also springtime, a season that stands for new life, hope, and fresh starts. Maybe this was their way of spreading some positivity when the world really needs it. There's something sweet about the way they made this announcement. They didn't do a big press conference or call reporters. They chose to keep it simple and personal. By sharing it on social media and through the palace, they made sure the message came directly from them to the people. It shows how connected William and Kate are to the modern world, where millions of people wake up and check the news on their phones first thing in the morning. What this means for the royal family. Now, let's talk about what this means for the royal family. A new royal baby is always big news, but this one feels extra special. Why? Because it adds a new chapter to the future of the British monarchy. With Prince William being the next in line to the throne after his father, King Charles, every child he has becomes part of the future royal story. This new baby will be fifth in line to the throne, right after their big brothers and sister, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Even though this baby might not be the next king or queen, they will still grow up as a major part of the royal family. Some royal experts are already saying that this baby will bring a fresh wave of love and attention to the monarchy. In recent years, the royal family has faced a lot of challenges: scandals, family rifts, and health worries. But babies always have a way of bringing everyone back together. A royal birth is something everyone, young and old, can celebrate. This also shows that Kate and William are fully embracing their role as the future king and queen. They're not just sitting back and waiting for their turn. They're building a strong, loving family that will support the crown in the years to come. Every time they step out with their children, they show the world that the monarchy is not just about duty. It's about family, love, and values. Kate, in particular, has always been known as the people's princess of this generation. She is loved for being graceful, kind, and down-to-earth. Her decision to have a fourth child at a time when the world is going through so much shows her strength and her belief in family. People look up to her, and this news will only make her even more loved. For Prince William, this is also a proud moment. He has often spoken about how important his family is to him. He lost his mother, Princess Diana, at a young age, and has always made it clear that being a good father is his #1 job. This new baby gives him one more reason to smile, and one more child to love and protect. The royal family will surely rally around Kate and William during this time. We can expect to see more of King Charles showing support, and even Prince Harry and Meghan Markle might reach out with their congratulations. After all, a new baby has the power to heal wounds and bring families closer, no matter how far apart they may seem. There's also talk that this new baby could change how royal duties are shared in the future. As Kate focuses on her health and the new baby, Prince William might take on even more public work. This could also open doors for younger royals, like Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, to step in and help with royal events. No matter what happens next, one thing is for sure: the world will be watching. Every tiny detail, from Kate's baby bump to the baby's first photos, will be loved and talked about by millions. This child will grow up in the spotlight, just like their siblings, but also with the love and protection of a family that has learned from its past. The excitement is real. The love is pouring in. And once again, the world is reminded why the royal family holds such a special place in so many hearts. Whether you're a fan of the royals or not, you can't help but smile at the thought of a new baby bringing joy, hope, and a fresh beginning.
It's been obviously fantastic, and she's been a little joy of heaven, but at the same time, it is a more responsibility.
Something has changed in the royal family, and it's something no one saw coming. Princess Charlotte, the little girl everyone thought they knew, looks completely different now. When Kate Middleton and Prince William saw her, they couldn't hold back their tears. It wasn't just a small change. It was something big, something that left the world in shock. What happened to their daughter? Why is everyone talking about this transformation? Behind the palace doors, something unexpected took place, and it has left even the royal family emotional. The truth behind this moment is bigger than anyone could have ever imagined. The unexpected transformation of Princess Charlotte. It was a normal royal event, just like many others, where the family was out in public, smiling for the cameras. But this time, something felt different. All eyes were suddenly on Princess Charlotte. She had always been the sweet, playful little girl known for her cheeky moments. Whether it was waving at the cameras or playfully sticking out her tongue, Charlotte always brought a spark of fun wherever she went. But on this special day, royal watchers and the public couldn't help but notice a huge change in her. It was like watching a completely new version of Charlotte. She looked so grown up, so confident, and so poised. It left people shocked. A new level of maturity and grace. As she stepped out of the car, Charlotte carried herself like a young lady who knew exactly what her role was. She walked next to her mother, Kate Middleton, with her back straight and her chin slightly up. There was a calm and soft smile on her face, the kind that showed respect and confidence at the same time. Gone was the playful little girl people were used to seeing. Instead, Charlotte showed a level of maturity that no one expected from an 8-year-old. Every move she made was graceful. She didn't fidget or act restless like most children would in such a serious event. Instead, she stayed calm, looked around politely, and followed every instruction perfectly. People watching the event said it was like Charlotte had suddenly grown up overnight. Some even felt that for a moment, she wasn't just the royal couple's daughter. She looked like a future queen. The surprise talent that shocked everyone. But it wasn't just her grace and poise that surprised everyone. What really touched people's hearts was the discovery of a hidden talent. Reports began to surface that Charlotte had recently participated in a school event. During that event, she did something that most children her age would be terrified of. she stood up and gave a speech in front of a big crowd. Eyewitnesses described how Charlotte spoke with confidence, her voice steady and clear. There was no stuttering, no looking around nervously. She kept her eyes on the audience and delivered her words beautifully. People clapped, some even stunned into silence by how well this young girl performed. For Kate and William, hearing about this moment was overwhelming. As parents, they always knew Charlotte was special. But seeing their little girl step into such a big moment with so much courage brought tears to their eyes. A physical change that turned heads. Along with her behavior, there was another change that caught everyone's attention: Charlotte's growing resemblance to her late grandmother, Princess Diana. For years, people have often said that Charlotte looks like the Queen when she was younger. But this time, many couldn't help but notice that Charlotte's features were changing. Her facial expressions, her smile, and even the gentle way she looked at people. It all reminded everyone of Diana. The media was quick to pick up on this. Photos of Charlotte at the event were placed side by side with pictures of Princess Diana at a similar age. The resemblance was striking. People started calling Charlotte the young Diana, and royal fans all over the world shared their thoughts online, with many saying how beautiful and graceful Charlotte had become. Kate and William's emotional reaction. For Kate and William, this transformation was more than just a proud parenting moment. It was deeply emotional. Witnesses at the event noticed that both parents had teary eyes at one point. It wasn't hard to imagine what they were feeling in that moment. For William, seeing his daughter act with such grace and maturity must have brought back memories of his own childhood. He lost his mother, Princess Diana, at such a young age. Watching Charlotte remind him of Diana in so many ways was likely both beautiful and heartbreaking. Kate, on the other hand, has always been a hands-on mother. She has worked so hard to raise her children in the most normal way possible, despite their royal status. Seeing Charlotte grow up so fast, achieving things beyond her years, must have filled her with pride, and a little sadness too. It's every parent's dream to see their child succeed. But there's also that bittersweet feeling when you realize your little one is no longer so little. That moment hit both Kate and William hard. They were not just proud parents. They were emotional, deeply touched by how quickly time was passing. The connection to Princess Diana. The comparisons between Charlotte and Princess Diana grew stronger after that day. People couldn't stop talking about how Charlotte carried herself. The gentle smiles, the caring eyes, the way she connected with people. Diana was known as the People's Princess because of her kind heart and her natural way of making everyone around her feel special. In Charlotte, many saw the same spark. Some royal experts even said that Charlotte might grow up to be the one who carries Diana's legacy forward. It's not just about looks, but about the personality shining through. Charlotte has always been kind, thoughtful, and caring, traits that Diana was loved for. William, who was very close to his mother, must have felt that connection deeply. Watching his daughter reflect so much of his beloved mother must have been a mix of pride and sorrow. For the world, it was a heartwarming moment. It felt like Diana was still here in some way, living on through her granddaughter. Fans from around the world shared pictures and videos of Charlotte, celebrating the little princess who reminded them so much of the woman they all loved and lost. What this means for the royal family. Charlotte's transformation wasn't just a personal moment for the family. It had a bigger meaning for the royal family as a whole. In a time where the royal family often faces challenges and criticism, Charlotte's grace and charm brought a fresh wave of positivity. People started talking about how Charlotte could become one of the most important members of the royal family in the future. Even though she is not the heir, her presence is powerful. She has the potential to be a strong female figure, someone who connects the old traditions with the new generation. The media picked up on this quickly. Headlines read, "Princess Charlotte steals the show," and "A future queen in the making." Social media was full of admiration for Charlotte. Fans praised Kate and William for raising such a wonderful young girl. Many said that if Diana was alive, she would have been so proud of Charlotte. Charlotte's transformation also sparked conversations about the modern monarchy. People wondered what the future holds for her. Will she follow in Diana's footsteps and become a symbol of kindness and compassion? Will she take on bigger royal duties as she grows older? While no one can predict the future, one thing is certain. Charlotte has already captured the hearts of millions. Her recent transformation showed the world that she is not just a royal by blood, but also by heart. A moment that touched millions. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about royalty. It's about family, love, and the emotions that all parents feel when they see their child grow up. Kate and William's tears were not just tears of pride, but also of love, loss, and hope for the future. It was a reminder that no matter how royal or rich you are, moments like these touch everyone the same way. Every parent can relate to that bittersweet feeling of watching their child take one more step towards adulthood. And every grandparent, living or gone, is somehow a part of that journey too. Princess Charlotte's transformation was unexpected, but it was beautiful. It gave the world a glimpse of the young lady she is becoming and reminded everyone of the powerful bond between generations. And somewhere, somehow, you can't help but feel that Princess Diana was smiling down, proud of the little girl carrying a piece of her heart into the future. The royal family has seen many changes over the years, but this one has left everyone speechless. Kate and William's reaction shows just how deeply this transformation has touched them. As the world watches closely, one thing is clear: Princess Charlotte's journey is only just beginning.
This particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. Someone, the name blacked out, is planning an accident in my car.
Something has come to light that no one ever saw coming. A note, written by Princess Diana herself, has been found in FBI files, hidden away for years. And what it says is truly shocking. For decades, people have wondered about her tragic death. There have been rumors, theories, and questions with no clear answers. But this note? It changes everything. It reveals fears she had, warnings she gave, things that now seem impossible to ignore. Why was it kept secret for so long? Who wanted it hidden? And most importantly, what does this mean for everything we thought we knew? What does the note say? Princess Diana's story has always been full of mystery, but this new discovery takes things to another level. A note, handwritten by Diana herself, has been found in secret FBI documents. But what exactly does it say? At first glance, the letter is shocking. It talks about her deep emotional struggles and hints at something even more unsettling. Some believe it is a suicide note. Others think it might be something else entirely. But before we jump to conclusions, we need to break it down carefully. Did Diana express suicidal thoughts? This is the biggest question. Did Princess Diana really want to take her own life? The note reportedly describes feelings of isolation, fear, and deep sadness. It talks about how she felt like she had no control over her own life. It even suggests that she was overwhelmed to the point where she didn't know how much longer she could keep going. But here's the twist. The wording of the note is not clear-cut. Some experts say it sounds like a cry for help rather than a final goodbye. It's the kind of letter someone writes when they feel trapped, not necessarily when they are ready to give up. Diana had spoken about feeling alone before. She had opened up about her struggles with depression, bulimia, and anxiety. She once said that she felt like a prisoner inside the royal family. So, was this note just another moment where she was expressing her pain? Or was it something more serious? This is where things get complicated. When and where was this note written? The timing of this letter is very important. If Diana wrote it during her divorce from Prince Charles, it would make sense why she was feeling so low. That was one of the hardest times in her life. She was dealing with constant media attention, betrayal, and public humiliation. Imagine this. One day, you're the most loved woman in the world, and the next, you're being pushed out of the royal family. That's exactly what happened to Diana. She had given everything to her marriage. But Charles had been in love with Camilla Parker Bowles the whole time. When the truth finally came out, Diana was devastated. She was also losing her title, her home, and even her sense of security. The royal family was cutting her off, and the press was making things worse. Could this note have been written in the middle of all that? Or was it written even later, when she had finally found love with Dodi Fayed? that changes everything. If she had written it while she was happy, then why would she be thinking about ending her life? The FBI hasn't revealed the exact date of the note yet, and that's what makes this so frustrating. The timeline could tell us whether Diana was truly suicidal, or if this was just a moment of overwhelming stress. Was the handwriting authentic? Now, here's where things get even more suspicious. How do we even know this note is real? Experts have analyzed the handwriting, and from the first look, it does seem to match Diana's usual style. But there are also some strange differences. Some letters don't look quite right. The spacing feels off in certain parts. Now, we have to ask, could someone have forged this letter? If the letter was truly written by Diana, then it is a painful reminder of her struggles. But if it was fake, who would want to create a fake suicide note? And more importantly, why? We have seen cases before where documents related to Diana have been altered. Remember the infamous BBC Panorama interview? It was later revealed that Diana was tricked into giving that interview through fake documents. If people were willing to lie to Diana back then, who's to say they wouldn't lie about this note now? Some theorists believe this letter conveniently appeared to change the way people see Diana's death. If people believe she was suicidal, it takes attention away from the theory that she was murdered. Could this be part of a larger cover-up? How does this compare to Diana's "they are planning my accident" letter? This is where things get really eerie. In 1995, Diana wrote another famous letter to her butler, Paul Burrell. In it, she said something shocking. "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure and serious head injury." This letter became one of the biggest pieces of evidence for people who believe Diana was assassinated. She had predicted that something would happen to her in a car crash, 2 years before she actually died in a car crash. Now, let's compare the two notes. The 1995 letter clearly shows that Diana believed someone was out to get her. She wasn't suicidal. She was scared. She thought people were plotting against her. The newly found letter seems to suggest the opposite, that Diana was feeling hopeless and might have wanted to harm herself. Do you see how these two letters completely contradict each other? One letter says Diana was fighting for her life because people were targeting her. The other suggests she had given up and was thinking of ending things herself. Which one are we supposed to believe? If Diana had truly been planning to take her own life, then why would she have written that first letter warning about a staged accident? You don't write a note predicting your own murder if you actually plan to harm yourself later. This is why many people don't trust this newly found letter. Some believe it was planted to make Diana's death look less suspicious. After all, if people think she was already struggling, then her tragic end wouldn't seem so strange. It's a way of silencing the murder theories without actually proving anything. But if Diana did write both letters, then this is even more heartbreaking. It would mean she lived in a constant state of fear, sadness, and paranoia, believing that both the world and her own mind were working against her. So, what is the truth? That's the hardest part. We don't know yet. What we do know is that Diana's life was never simple. She was either the most loved woman in the world or the most hunted. She had moments of deep pain, but she also had moments of hope. If this letter is real, then it shows just how much she was struggling. But if it's fake, then someone is still trying to control her story, years after her death. One thing is certain, the mystery of Princess Diana is far from over. Was Diana being watched? First, we need to talk about something that not many people know. Princess Diana was being watched, and not just by the British government, but also by the US intelligence agencies. Now, you might be thinking, why would the FBI or the CIA care about Diana? She wasn't a politician. She wasn't a world leader. She wasn't involved in government affairs. She was a princess who spent her time helping charities and taking care of her 2 sons. But here's the thing. Diana was powerful, not in a political way, but in a way that scared powerful people. She had the ability to change public opinion overnight. She could speak about a cause, and suddenly the whole world would care. She spoke about things that many people in power didn't want to be talked about. Things like landmines, AIDS awareness, and even corruption. There's one more thing. At the time of her death, Diana was dating Dodi Fayed, an Egyptian billionaire. There were rumors, big, loud rumors, that they were about to get married. Some even believed she was pregnant with his child. Now, let's be real. The British royal family did not like this relationship. Imagine the future King of England, Prince William, having a Muslim stepfather and possibly even a half-sibling who was part Arab. For the monarchy, which had a long history of keeping things traditional, this was a huge deal. So, Diana wasn't just a princess. She was someone who could change history. And that's why she was watched. The US government's secret involvement now, this is where things get even stranger. The FBI has never openly admitted to watching Diana, but the CIA? Well, they slipped up. In 1999, 2 years after her death, the CIA confirmed that they had over 1,000 pages of files on Diana. Yes, you heard that right, 1,000 pages. And guess what? They refused to release most of them. The official reason? National security. Wait, what? National security? Why would a British princess's personal life be a national security issue for the United States? That's the big mystery. Some believe that Diana's campaign against landmines put her on the radar of military groups. Others think that her relationship with Dodi Fayed was what made her a target. And some even go as far as saying that certain governments didn't want her around anymore. But here's where things get even creepier. Among the few documents that were released, there were reports that Diana believed she was being spied on. She had even told her friends that she felt her phone was tapped. And now, years later, we find out that the FBI had a note that she wrote? That's not a coincidence. How was this note discovered? Now let's get to the big part. How was this note even found? Well, it wasn't found in some old storage box. It wasn't lying in a pile of forgotten papers. It was hidden in classified files. The note was part of a batch of secret FBI documents that were only released because of a Freedom of Information Act request. This means that someone had to fight to get these documents unsealed. They weren't just randomly given to the public. For decades, nobody knew this note even existed. It was tucked away, buried in files that nobody had access to. Which makes you wonder, was this information intentionally kept from the public? And if so, why? Was this note suppressed? Now, here's where things get really weird. If this note was so important, why was it hidden for so long? There are only two possible reasons. One, it was just forgotten. It got buried in the middle of thousands of other classified documents, and nobody thought it was important enough to release. But let's be honest. Does that sound likely? This is Princess Diana we're talking about. Every little detail about her life has been analyzed and discussed for years. If there was a note like this, it would have been found much earlier. Which brings us to the second reason, and this one is more disturbing. The note was suppressed on purpose. Think about it. If this note had been released years ago, what would have happened? If it contained anything that supported the theory that Diana was being watched, manipulated, or even threatened, then suddenly, all the conspiracy theories wouldn't seem so crazy anymore. If it suggested that she was struggling mentally in a way that was never made public, then people would start questioning everything about the official story of her death. The bottom line is this: someone didn't want this note to come out, and now that it has, it raises more questions than it answers. So, what does this note really mean? Does it prove Diana was struggling so much that she wanted to take her own life? Or does it make the mystery of her death even deeper? Let's be honest. Since the day Princess Diana died, people have had their doubts. The official story says she was in a car accident while trying to escape the paparazzi. But for years, many believed that it wasn't an accident at all. People said she was murdered. Some believed the royal family was behind it. Others thought powerful forces wanted her gone. But now, with this note coming to light, things have taken an unexpected turn. If Diana really wrote a letter hinting at suicide, does that mean all those theories were wrong? Could it be that she was truly in emotional pain and no one listened? Or, and this is a big or, was this note planted? Was it written under pressure? Was someone trying to build a case even before she died? Does this note challenge the assassination theory? For years, Diana herself believed she was being watched. She once told her butler, Paul Burrell, that she feared for her life. She even wrote a letter predicting that she would die in a car crash. That letter is real. It's been public knowledge for a long time. In it, She said that someone was planning to tamper with her car's brakes. Now, if someone was planning to harm her, why would she also write a note about suicide? These two things don't really match, do they? If this note is real, then some people will say, see? Maybe she wasn't murdered. Maybe she was just deeply sad, and the accident was truly an accident. But is it really that simple? The people who believe she was killed still have questions. They ask, if this note existed all along, why are we only hearing about it now? Why did the FBI have it? And why would a woman who was full of life, a woman who had just started a new relationship, suddenly write a note about ending it all? It just doesn't sit right. If Diana was truly in danger, it's possible that this note was a distraction, a way to make sure that if something happened to her, people wouldn't suspect foul play. And that makes you wonder, was this note really written by Diana? Or does this prove she was under psychological pressure? Let's consider something else. What if this note doesn't mean she planned to harm herself, but instead, it shows the emotional pain she was in? Diana had been through a lot. Her marriage to Prince Charles was a disaster. She felt alone in the royal family. She battled bulimia, depression, and an overwhelming amount of media pressure. Every single thing she did was watched. Every mistake was put on the front page of a newspaper. Every emotion was judged. Imagine being in that position. Imagine feeling like you have no escape. Now add to that the fact that Diana was speaking out. She had done that famous interview with the BBC where she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." She was open about her struggles. She was trying to break free from the royal family's control. And we all know how dangerous it can be when powerful people don't want the truth to come out. Could it be that Diana was being pushed into a mental state where she felt completely helpless? Could she have written this note during one of her lowest moments, not because she actually wanted to end her life, but because she felt like she had no one to turn to? Or, and this is where it gets really dark, was someone making sure she felt that way? Was she being harassed or manipulated into despair? This is something we need to think about. We already know that Diana felt like she was being watched. She had told people that her phones were bugged. She felt like she was being followed. And here's the thing, she wasn't wrong. There have been reports that intelligence agencies were keeping tabs on her. MI6, the British intelligence service, was known to have files on Diana. The FBI had documents on her. The CIA had some records too. The big question is, why? Why were all these intelligence agencies watching a woman who was no longer even a part of the royal family? Some believe it was because of her relationship with Dodi Fayed. He was the son of a billionaire, a man with powerful international connections. There were rumors that Diana and Dodi were going to get married. Some even speculated that she was pregnant. Now, if that was true, it could have caused major problems for the royal family. Think about it. A future king's mother married to a man from a different religious and cultural background? It might not sound like a big deal now, but back then, to the people in power, it could have been. So, was Diana being pushed into a state of despair? Was she being watched so closely that she felt like she had nowhere to go? If someone wanted her out of the picture, could psychological pressure have been part of the plan? And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Did she actually write this note? Or was it written for her? Could this note have been written under duress? This is where things get even murkier. Let's say for a moment that Diana did write this note. But let's also consider that she may not have done it freely. Imagine a scenario where someone close to her convinced her to write it. Maybe they told her, "Write down how you're feeling. It'll help." Maybe they said, "If something happens, people should know you were struggling." But what if that person wasn't looking out for her? What if this note was meant to be used later? And here's something else. What if she didn't write it at all? Handwriting analysis can tell us a lot, but let's be real. Forensics can be manipulated. If someone wanted a document that made Diana's death look like a result of her own struggles, it wouldn't be impossible to create one. That might sound extreme, but we've seen cover-ups before. Powerful people protect their own. If there was something bigger going on, a simple note could help rewrite the narrative. Which brings us to the next big player in this story. The role of the British monarchy and intelligence agencies. If Diana's note was written willingly, it shows her mental state. If it wasn't, it opens up an entirely different conversation. Either way, this note being in the FBI's possession means one thing: Princess Diana was under surveillance. The British monarchy has always denied involvement in Diana's death. They say the crash was a tragic accident. But if Diana really was being watched, we have to ask: were they worried about what she might do next? Did they fear that she was going to expose something? Did they see her as a threat? MI6 has been accused of having a role in her death before. Some former intelligence officers have even claimed that Diana's car crash was no accident. If there was ever a moment to shift the blame away, wouldn't a suicide note be the perfect tool? This note doesn't just change the story, it raises 100 more questions. Was Diana being watched to keep her safe, or to keep her quiet? If she really wrote this note, was it a desperate cry for help? Or was she being pushed into thinking she had no other way out? And most importantly, if this note had never been revealed, would we have ever known about it at all? What do you think? Does this note change your opinion on what really happened to her? Or do you believe there's still something we're not being told? Let me know in the comments. Something big just happened, and now the whole world is talking. A life sentence was given, and King Charles's reaction was caught on camera. The way he looked, the way he moved, people can't stop watching. Some say he was shocked, others think he knew this was coming. But one thing is clear: this moment has taken over the internet. Everyone is trying to understand what his reaction really means. Was he upset? Was he expecting this? Or is there something more behind that look? Background of the case. This case has grabbed the world's attention like no other. A powerful figure, once considered untouchable, has been sentenced to life in prison. But who is this person? And what crime did they commit that led to such a harsh punishment? The person in question is no ordinary criminal. They were once highly respected, a well-known name in elite circles. However, shocking allegations turned their reputation upside down. The trial was long and dramatic, filled with shocking testimonies, undeniable evidence, and intense courtroom moments. People watched as the case unfolded, revealing secrets that had been buried for years. The charges were serious. The convicted individual was accused of committing crimes that shook the public to its core. Investigators spent months collecting evidence, and when it was finally presented in court, there was no escaping the truth. The evidence included phone records, eyewitness statements, and even video footage that left no doubt about their guilt. The judge had no choice but to hand down the harshest punishment: life in prison. The media played a huge role in this case. News channels covered every single detail, analyzing every move made in court. Social media exploded with discussions, theories, and debates. Some people believed justice was served, while others thought the punishment was too severe. Protests broke out, and people gathered outside the courtroom, waiting for the final verdict. The moment the judge announced the life sentence, the internet went wild. But nothing prepared people for what happened next: King Charles's reaction. King Charles's connection to the case. The biggest question on everyone's mind is, why is King Charles reacting to this? What does this case have to do with him? Why does his response matter so much? Well, the answer lies in the deep and complex ties between the royal family and the convicted individual. There are rumors that the person sentenced to life had close connections to the British monarchy. Some reports even suggest that they had attended private royal events and had personal meetings with key members of the royal family. King Charles has always been careful about his public image. He knows that every word, every expression, and every reaction is watched closely by the public. So, when news broke about this life sentence, people naturally turned their eyes toward him. Would he ignore it? Would he comment? Would he defend or distance himself? The world waited for his response, and when it finally came, it took everyone by surprise. The exact reaction of King Charles. The moment King Charles heard about the life sentence, he was in the middle of an important royal event. Cameras were rolling, reporters were present, and all eyes were on him. As the news reached him, people noticed a sudden shift in his expression. His usual calm and composed demeanor changed for a brief moment. He looked tense, almost as if he had been caught off guard. Video clips of his reactions started circulating online within minutes. Some showed him looking down, avoiding eye contact with reporters. Others captured a brief moment of unease as he adjusted his posture. Experts began analyzing his body language, with some claiming that he looked visibly shaken, while others believed he was simply trying to remain neutral. But it wasn't just his facial expression that got people talking. Shortly after the news broke, an official statement was released by Buckingham Palace. The statement was short, carefully worded, and left room for interpretation. It neither condemned nor defended the convicted person, but instead focused on distancing the royal family from the controversy. However, some royal insiders claim that behind closed doors, there was a lot more going on. Sources suggest that King Charles had private discussions with his advisors about how to handle the situation. Some believe he was deeply troubled by the news, while others think he was frustrated that the royal family's name was once again being dragged into a major scandal. Meanwhile, other members of the royal family also had to deal with the situation. Prince William, known for his measured responses, chose to remain silent. Princess Kate, who rarely speaks on legal matters, was seen avoiding reporters. And then there was Prince Harry, though no official statement came from him. Some believe his past comments about royal scandals might suggest how he feels about the case. Social media and public response. As soon as King Charles's reaction went public, the internet exploded. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram were flooded with posts about his expression, his body language, and the statement from Buckingham Palace. People had strong opinions, and they weren't afraid to share them. Some users were quick to call him out. They believed his reaction showed that he was more affected by the case than he wanted to admit. Guilt written all over his face, one Twitter user wrote. Others defended him, saying he was just caught off guard and that people were reading too much into it. He's the king, not a reality TV star. Leave him alone, another user commented. Memes also took over the internet. Some showed edited clips of King Charles looking shocked with dramatic music in the background. Others compared his reaction to famous movie scenes. The hashtag #King Charles reaction started trending worldwide, with thousands of tweets pouring in every second. Even celebrities and politicians jumped into the conversation. Some supported King Charles, saying that it was unfair to put him under scrutiny for something he had no control over. Others, however, used this moment to question the royal family's past connections. Political and legal implications. King Charles' reaction may seem like just another viral moment, but it has bigger consequences. When a monarch reacts to a high-profile case, it can influence public opinion. Some people now wonder if this case will change how the royal family is viewed. Could this scandal affect King Charles's popularity? Will it lead to new discussions about the monarchy's role in modern society? Legally, the case itself is closed, but the debates surrounding it are far from over. If more information comes out about the convicted individual's past connections to the royal family, it could lead to new investigations, new headlines, and even more controversy. For now, King Charles has tried to move forward, but the internet doesn't forget. His reaction is still being discussed, analyzed, and shared worldwide. Whether he likes it or not, this moment has become part of history. So, what do you think? Was King Charles truly shocked by the life sentence? Or was there more to his reaction than meets the eye? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this developing story.
I can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it. I was a really bad actor at school, and
In a stunning development that has sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace, Tom Parker Bowles, son of Queen Camilla, has been sentenced in a case cloaked in unprecedented secrecy. The ruling, delivered behind closed doors and mysteriously absent from public court records, has resulted in his immediate removal from public life. Palace officials have imposed an extraordinary information blackout, but our sources have uncovered the disturbing reality behind his sudden disappearance. What could the Queen's son have done to warrant such severe consequences? And why has the royal family gone to extreme lengths to keep it hidden? Stay tuned, because this revelation will forever change how you view the British monarchy. The Secret Tribunal. On what appeared to be an ordinary Tuesday morning, Tom Parker Bowles arrived at a nondescript government building in London's diplomatic quarter. Unlike the high-profile court appearances of celebrities or politicians, There were no press photographers, no waiting crowds, just an unmarked entrance guarded by individuals who carried no visible identification, but moved with unmistakable military precision. Dressed in a conservative gray suit with no distinctive features, Tom was escorted through a private entrance and vanished from public view. A food critic and author who had carefully balanced his royal connections with an independent career, his expression betrayed no emotion as the doors closed behind him. Inside awaited what one source described as a tribunal rather than a court. The small windowless room contained only essential personnel. A panel of 3 judges with specialized security clearance, legal representatives who identified themselves only by last name, and a defense team that our sources claim had been appointed rather than selected by Tom himself. This wasn't a legal proceeding as the public would understand it, revealed a source with connections to diplomatic security protocols. This was risk containment operating under the thinnest veneer of judicial process. The charges, while never formally announced, allegedly centered around unauthorized communications with foreign entities, specifically, individuals connected to both international media organizations and foreign intelligence services. According to our sources, Tom had been under surveillance for months after certain patterns of communication raised red flags within royal security circles. It began with his legitimate food writing contacts, explained a former colleague who requested anonymity. But somewhere along the line, he began exchanging information that went far beyond culinary matters. Information about palace operations, security protocols, and most damaging of all, private communications between senior royals regarding matters of state. What made this case particularly sensitive was the nature of the information involved. Unlike typical royal scandals centered around personal indiscretions, the material Tom allegedly shared touched on the monarchy's relationship with government, the constitutional gray area where royal influence intersects with political power. During the 7-hour proceeding, Tom reportedly maintained the composed demeanor that had characterized his public life. He spoke only when directly addressed by the tribunal, neither confirming nor denying specific allegations. Those present described his bearing as resigned rather than defiant, the demeanor of someone who understood the institutional machinery he faced. The ruling, when delivered late that afternoon, was extraordinary in both scope and severity. While not termed imprisonment in any conventional sense, the sentence mandated Tom's immediate sequestration at an undisclosed location, with no access to communication devices, publication platforms, or unapproved visitors. The official terminology, protective isolation for reasons of national security, barely concealed the reality: permanent removal from public life. As Tom was escorted from the room through a secure exit, he reportedly made a single statement to the senior security official overseeing the operation: "Tell my mother I understand the necessity." This phrase, cryptic to those unfamiliar with royal dynamics, has been interpreted by insiders as acknowledgement of the monarchy's ultimate priority: institutional survival above individual interests, even when family is involved. Within hours, he had been transported from London via military aircraft, his destination known only to a handful of officials with the highest security clearances. The containment operation. The palace's official statement, released the following morning, made no reference to any proceedings. It simply announced that Tom Parker Bowles would be stepping back from public duties indefinitely to address private health matters and requested privacy. The brevity and vagueness only intensified speculation among royal observers. Behind the scenes, an elaborate operation was already underway, not just to manage Tom's physical removal, but to systematically erase evidence of his activities. Teams with specialized training in digital forensics simultaneously accessed his London apartment, office, and country home. Computers were seized, mobile devices confiscated, and physical documents removed. But the operation extended far beyond simple evidence gathering. This wasn't just about collecting materials, revealed a source with knowledge of security protocols. This was about eliminating all digital footprints, scrubbing communication records, and creating an alternative narrative about his absence that could withstand public scrutiny. Most telling was the treatment of his professional workspace. According to witnesses, the office where Tom wrote his food columns and books was not simply searched, but methodically dismantled. Digital storage devices were removed. Reference materials were cataloged and transported to secure facilities. Even seemingly innocuous items like notebooks and appointment calendars were treated as sensitive materials requiring special handling. The thoroughness suggested not just concern about what he might have already shared, but fear about what channels of communication he might have established that remained undiscovered. There was serious concern about dead drops, scheduled information releases, or material already positioned with publishers overseas, explained a former intelligence officer familiar with such operations. When someone with his connections commits to sharing sensitive information, the ripple effects can continue long after they've been contained. This fear drove the next phase of the operation, identifying and neutralizing potential associates. Editors who had worked with Tom found themselves subject to unusual scrutiny. Publishers reported subtle pressure to delay or cancel projects involving him. The pattern revealed a coordinated effort to isolate anyone who might have served as his conduit to the wider world. Digital traces began disappearing as well. His social media accounts were either suspended or suddenly managed with notably different content and tone. Archives of television appearances where he had discussed royal connections became mysteriously unavailable on streaming platforms. Even photographs in which he appeared at royal-adjacent events were quietly removed from official sources and media libraries. Most concerning to those tracking the situation was the treatment of his published work. His most recent food columns disappeared from publication archives. Bookstores reported receiving requests to return unsold copies of his latest cookbook for a corrected edition that never arrived. The systematic removal of his professional output suggested concerns that extended beyond personal indiscretion to something embedded in his public work. The concern wasn't just what he knew, but how he might have encoded that knowledge in his published writing, suggested a literary analyst who had studied similar cases of writers under government scrutiny in other countries. Food writing provides remarkable cover for transmitting information through seemingly innocent references. Ingredients can be code names. Preparation techniques can signify methods of operation. Restaurant locations can indicate meeting points. The royal family fractures. Behind palace walls, Tom's sentence reportedly created the most significant family crisis since Prince Andrew's fall from grace. Queen Camilla, caught between maternal instinct and institutional duty, was described by insiders as outwardly stoic, but inwardly devastated. According to sources familiar with palace operations, she was informed of the action against her son only hours before it occurred, presented not as a request for her approval, but as a security necessity already in motion. Camilla was effectively told, rather than consulted, said one palace source. This wasn't a mother being asked about her son's fate. This was a queen being briefed on an operation affecting the monarchy's security. King Charles, meanwhile, allegedly maintained a more detached position. Sources suggest he viewed Tom's actions through an institutional lens rather than a personal one, as a security breach requiring containment rather than a family matter requiring compassion. This perspective has reportedly created tension in the royal marriage, with moments of strained silence replacing their usually warm rapport. The king sees monarchy as his life's purpose, explained a longtime royal advisor. Threats to its stability override personal considerations, even when family is involved. Camilla hasn't yet developed that institutional callousness that royal life eventually demands. Prince William has reportedly supported the action, viewing it as regrettable but necessary for protecting the monarchy's future. According to palace insiders, he was among those briefed on specific communications intercepted from Tom and recognized their potential to undermine public confidence in royal neutrality on political matters, a cornerstone of the modern monarchy's survival. Most surprisingly, Princess Anne, known for her dedication to duty and protocol, has allegedly questioned the handling of the situation. Sources claim she has expressed concern about the precedent of removing a royal-adjacent figure through extrajudicial means, suggesting that, once we operate outside the law, we undermine the very system we claim to uphold. For Tom's sister, Laura Lopes, the situation has allegedly triggered profound distress. Unlike her brother, Laura has maintained an intensely private life despite her royal connections. Sources close to her family report that she has made repeated requests to contact her brother, all of which have been denied citing security protocols. Laura is essentially being told that any attempt to reach her brother could implicate her as well, revealed one source. It's a cruel but effective method of ensuring family compliance, the implicit threat that concern could be interpreted as complicity. For Queen Camilla herself, the situation has created an impossible position. Sources describe a woman torn between institutional obligation and maternal anguish, permitted no direct communication with her son since the sentencing. All information about his welfare and circumstances comes through official briefings provided by the same security apparatus that engineered his removal. In public, she performs flawlessly, noted one senior household member. In private, the strain shows in small ways. Moments of distraction, unusual irritability, the occasional canceled engagement citing mild indisposition. She's grieving while having to pretend nothing significant has happened. The most poignant detail, according to those with access to the Queen's private quarters, is that she now keeps a small photograph of Tom as a child, hidden in her personal desk drawer. A silent acknowledgement of loss she cannot publicly express.
You've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes.
Chaos erupts within the British royal family as Prince Andrew, Prince William, and Prince Harry unite in an unprecedented legal showdown against King Charles. At the heart of this explosive feud lies a mysterious, long-hidden letter from Princess Diana, containing secrets that could shake the monarchy to its core. With the Supreme Court now involved, the battle threatens to expose untold truths and redefine the future of the British crown forever. King Charles, the monarch and the father. King Charles has spent nearly his entire life in the public eye, first as the Prince of Wales and now as the reigning monarch. But for all the royal engagements and ceremonial duties he's juggled, another big challenge has always been his role as a father. Charles's relationship with Prince William and Prince Harry has been shaped by tradition, public expectations, and the pressures of being next in line to the throne for so many years. As a father, Charles has sometimes been described as distant, though some insiders insist he tried his best, given the unusual environment his sons were raised in. Both William and Harry spent their childhoods under constant media attention, making a normal family life nearly impossible. As they got older, Charles needed to prepare William to one day inherit the crown, which meant possibly spending more time with William on future plans or official training. Harry, meanwhile, has pointed out in interviews and in his memoir, Spare, that he often felt like he came second to royal duty. This kind of criticism gives a glimpse into how hard it must have been for Charles to juggle fatherhood and duty. It's not just Charles as a dad that draws attention. He's also a brother. While there were always whispers about a certain rivalry between him and Prince Andrew, nothing was ever openly confirmed. In their younger years, Andrew seemed to relish a more carefree lifestyle, while Charles was tied to the idea that someday he would be king. Today, as monarch, Charles has had to deal with Andrew's controversies head-on. He's made decisions, such as limiting Andrew's involvement in public events, that reflect a need to protect the royal family's reputation. These moves can seem harsh, but they also reveal the heavy weight Charles now carries as the figurehead. When it comes to leadership, Charles's approach seems to mix tradition with a cautious openness to change. On the one hand, he's recognized for championing environmental causes for decades, long before it became mainstream. On the other, when it comes to family matters, he often seems to retain an old-fashioned reserve. While he might prefer to keep personal issues private, the modern media landscape has made that nearly impossible. People want to know how he really feels about Harry relocating to another country, or Andrew stepping away from public life in disgrace. Still, being king demands that Charles think about the monarchy's future above all else, which can conflict with personal connections. He must put the institution first, a dilemma that can strain his relationships. William appears cooperative, probably because he's aware he'll inherit that same responsibility. Harry's decision to walk away suggests he felt too constrained by it. Meanwhile, Andrew's troubles have forced Charles to act decisively to uphold public respect for the crown. Prince Andrew, the disgraced royal prince. Andrew was once seen as an energetic and sociable member of the royal family. Whether at fancy galas or charity events, he appeared comfortable and outgoing, carving out a public image as someone who enjoyed the perks and responsibilities of royal life. But that image took a massive hit due to his controversial links to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Andrew is often called a disgraced royal, a figure who stays mostly out of view while dealing with the fallout of past decisions. Andrew was born into a life of privilege as Queen Elizabeth II's second son. In that sense, he was the spare of his generation, a term sometimes used to describe a royal who isn't directly in line for the throne. This gave him more freedom than King Charles, who had to follow a strict path as the heir. Andrew's early years saw him serve in the Royal Navy, and he was even dubbed the party prince in the tabloids, partly because of his social circle and international travels. For a while, that easygoing image worked in his favor. However, once news broke about Andrew's friendship with Epstein, everything changed. Allegations and lawsuits arose, shining a not-so-flattering light on Andrew's personal judgment. The situation reached a tipping point when the prince gave a TV interview to clear his name. Instead, it made the public even more doubtful, leading to calls for him to step back from his royal duties. King Charles, concerned for the monarchy's reputation, supported a decision to limit Andrew's official roles. By the time Charles ascended to the throne, Andrew was already sidelined, effectively removed from the broader royal spotlight. Behind palace doors, Andrew's relationship with Charles has likely been strained by these events. Some say Andrew never felt fully supported by his older brother, even before the scandals. While there might have been sibling rivalry over the years, it's turned more serious now that Andrew is seen as a liability. Charles, as the reigning monarch, has no choice but to protect the crown's image, which means keeping Andrew at arm's length. Prince William and Prince Harry don't seem close to Andrew either. William, ready to step into bigger responsibilities, likely wants to dodge any scandals that reflect badly on the monarchy. Their interactions, if any, are probably very formal now. Harry, on the other hand, stepped away from royal life for his own reasons, and it doesn't appear that he's embraced Andrew in any significant way. So Andrew, once a fixture in royal photographs, has slipped into the background, rarely seen at public events, and often omitted from discussions about the monarchy's future. Prince William, the dutiful heir. Prince William is often praised as the dependable face of a modern monarchy. From the time he was a boy, the world has watched him grow up. He's seen triumphs, like his wedding to Catherine, Princess of Wales, and tragedies, including the loss of his mother, Princess Diana. Through it all, William has been groomed to take the throne after King Charles, meaning his every move is viewed through the lens of a future monarch. Being the heir shapes William's day-to-day life and how he relates to other family members. He carries himself with the seriousness expected of someone who will eventually wear the crown. This mindset sets him apart from Prince Harry, who famously sought more freedom away from royal duties. William, on the other hand, tends to follow the established script, attending official engagements, focusing on charitable causes, and supporting his father's reign. In public, he projects calm and stability, traits that make him popular with many Brits. Still, William's bond with King Charles isn't without its stresses. They share a common goal of protecting the monarchy, but they might not always see eye to eye on how to handle family issues. For instance, dealing with Prince Andrew's controversies or Harry's revelations can stir up strong opinions. Some watchers say William plays a key role behind the scenes, encouraging Charles to be firm in order to maintain the monarchy's image. In this sense, William acts as both a supportive son and a partner in guarding the crown. Of course, one of the most talked about aspects of William's life is his complicated relationship with Prince Harry. They used to be seen as inseparable, the two young royals who helped each other cope after Diana's passing. But recent events, like Harry stepping down from senior royal duties and moving to the United States, have put a lot of distance between them. Add in Meghan Markle's presence, bringing in her own experiences, media attention, and viewpoints. And it becomes clear that William and Harry inhabit very different worlds now. Harry has vented frustrations about palace life and family dynamics, while William has mostly stayed quiet, which some see as proof of a significant divide. When it comes to Prince Andrew, William has taken a hard line. He wants the focus on essential royal duties and forward-looking efforts. Scandals like Andrew's can pull the monarchy backward, damaging its public image. William is well aware that one day he'll have to keep the institution strong, so he has supported the decision to limit Andrew's public roles. This stance shows how William is mindful of public opinion and the long-term health of the monarchy. Prince Harry, the rebel royal prince. Harry has long been known as the Spare, a label often used for royals who aren't first in line for the throne. Growing up, he saw his older brother, Prince William, groomed for the role of future king, while he enjoyed slightly more freedom. He was viewed as fun-loving and less burdened by rigid expectations. That spare tag may have shaped Harry's personality, making him more open to new experiences and quicker to step away from palace traditions. Over the years, Harry's relationship with his father, King Charles, has become a focal point of public interest. In his memoir, Spare, Harry talks about feeling overlooked or not fully understood. He refers to certain moments when he wished Charles had been more supportive or involved on a personal level, rather than focused on the weight of royal duty. At times, Harry's words paint a picture of a father-son bond that might still be mended, but only if both sides put in serious effort. While some see the tension as permanent, others believe reconciliation could happen if they find common ground and keep it away from the media spotlight. Harry's biggest falling out, however, seems to be with William. Once a tight pair, the two princes shared a special connection after losing their mother, Diana. But as adults, their paths split sharply. Harry recounts feeling that his interests and personal concerns didn't matter in the grand scheme of royal life, while William shouldered a huge sense of responsibility as the heir. The arrival of Meghan Markle introduced another layer of change. Harry felt a need to protect Meghan from what he viewed as unfair treatment, while William and others in the family may have seen the press coverage simply as part of royal life. The result was a deeper rift that Harry has publicly acknowledged in interviews, saying he's sad about the distance between them. What about Prince Andrew? Technically, Harry and Andrew have both been labeled spares at different points in history. Does that give them a bond? If so, it doesn't show up much in public. Andrew's scandal has forced the royal family to keep him on the sidelines. Harry hasn't openly aligned himself with Andrew, suggesting that rather than bonding them, Andrew's troubles may have nudged Harry even further away from the traditional royal fold. After all, Harry left on his own terms, not because of scandal, but because he felt the system itself no longer worked for him. William and Harry, brothers divided. Prince William and Prince Harry once seemed inseparable. After losing their mother, Diana, at a young age, the two brothers leaned on each other. They attended events together, joked around in interviews, and looked like a tight team, trying to manage the pain of growing up in the public eye. For a while, many people saw them as a heartbeat of the royal family, fresh, relatable, and united in their shared experiences. Over time, though, cracks began to show. Some say the first hints of tension sprung up around the time William got married. Harry, for years, was the fun younger brother, but he started feeling like a bit of a third wheel as William's focus shifted to building his own family life. Things escalated further when Harry met Meghan Markle. Her entry into royal life brought a whirlwind of press coverage. While some praised her modern style, others fiercely criticized her or questioned her motives. Harry felt protective, but William advised caution, wanting Harry to slow down and think about the challenges of such a high-profile union. When Harry stepped back from his royal duties, affectionately dubbed Megxit by the media, the divide became obvious. The two brothers hardly appeared together, and rumors of heated arguments surfaced. Harry's public remarks about the institution being stiff and unwelcoming clashed with William's sense of duty. William, as the next in line after King Charles, focused on upholding the crown's image, while Harry wanted personal freedom and a simpler life. Their differences in approach turned into a full-blown separation. Both physically, Harry moved abroad, and emotionally. Is reconciliation possible? Some observers believe time heals all wounds. They point out that the brothers still share deep memories of Diana and a love for charity work she inspired in them. If they can reconnect on those grounds, they might find a path back to brotherly respect. Others think the damage runs deeper because Harry has been open about feeling unsupported, while William might view Harry's criticism as a personal betrayal. It might take years, major apologies, or even more changes within the monarchy before they find solid forgiveness. Public perception of William and Harry is equally split. Many in the UK see William as the dutiful heir, carefully preparing for future kingship. He's seen as reliable, steady, and respectful of tradition. Harry, on the other hand, often seems like the opposite, outspoken, willing to criticize family norms, and determined to carve out his own destiny. Some applaud Harry for bravely speaking his truth, while others think airing the family's dirty laundry is harmful and unfair to those left behind. In the end, the story of William and Harry is a complicated blend of shared trauma, differing responsibilities, and personal choices. For spectators, it's a real-life drama unfolding in front of cameras and tabloids. For the monarchy, it's a thorny issue that raises questions about how younger generations can adapt, or clash with, an institution steeped in tradition. Whether they can rediscover their old bond is anyone's guess, but their journey is sure to remain in the spotlight for years to come. Charles and Andrew, at odds. As children of Queen Elizabeth II, King Charles and Prince Andrew grew up in a family that ran on tradition and duty. But they didn't share the same role. Charles was the heir, carrying the weight of future kingship, while Andrew was free to define his own path as the second brother. Some watchers believe this set the stage for a quiet rivalry that simmered for decades, even if it rarely made headlines. In their younger years, Andrew enjoyed a more relaxed image. He served in the Royal Navy, went on playful excursions, and was labeled the party prince by some tabloids. Charles, meanwhile, was constantly reminded that he would inherit the crown. The difference in responsibilities may have led to tension. Charles had to be careful with appearances and public statements, while Andrew didn't face the same level of scrutiny, at least not until later. Those who have observed the family suggest Andrew may have felt overshadowed and sometimes sought ways to stand out. The real problems arose when Andrew became linked to controversies, especially the scandal involving Jeffrey Epstein. This put the monarchy in a tight spot because the public expected some form of accountability. Charles, who eventually took the throne, found himself in the uncomfortable position of balancing brotherly ties and royal duty. As king, Charles can't ignore negative public opinion, especially if it involves allegations that harm the monarchy's image. So, Andrew was sidelined, stripped of many titles and public roles. Some insiders say Charles didn't relish doing this, but saw no other way to protect the crown's reputation. Under Charles's leadership, Andrew's role slid into a state of uncertainty. While Charles hasn't outright disowned his brother, he has made it clear that Andrew won't be part of the monarchy's main operations. It's a practical choice. Many people feel Andrew's presence could do more harm than good at official events. The question remains whether Charles has any plan to rehabilitate Andrew's image over time, or if he believes it's best to keep his brother out of the spotlight for good. Rumors swirl about private family discussions, but nothing concrete has emerged to show an effort to pull Andrew back into the fold. This situation points to a bigger issue. How does a royal family handle internal scandals when the modern world demands accountability? For Charles, the line between sibling solidarity and institutional duty has become blurred. He can't risk the monarchy's reputation by openly defending Andrew, but also can't erase him from the family tree. The result is a careful, if strained, relationship that reveals the human side of royal life. They may have grown up with the same parents and traditions, but their roles diverged long ago, and those differences only grew when Andrew's controversies came to light. Diana's legacy. In family relationships, Princess Diana was more than just the mother of William and Harry. She was a global icon. Even decades after her tragic death, her influence remains a powerful force in the royal family's story. She brought a sense of warmth and openness the monarchy wasn't used to, shaping how many people view William and Harry today. From her charity work to her candid way of speaking, Diana left an unforgettable mark on her sons, which has continued to shape their decisions and relationships. Diana's biggest impact is seen in how William and Harry carry on her sense of empathy. Both men often mention their mother when discussing charitable causes, mental health, and the importance of being accessible to the public. In some ways, this has led them to approach royal life differently than older generations. For William, it means combining tradition with a more down-to-earth vibe, like his mother once did. For Harry, it sparked a strong need to protect his own family from the same media intrusiveness Diana endured. One can't help but wonder how things might have turned out if Diana were still alive. She may have acted as a mediator, healing rifts before they got too big. Some suggest she would have supported Harry's desire for a more private life, while also encouraging William to understand his brother's perspective. Without Diana, the brothers lost a unifying figure who could bridge the gap between them and, perhaps, cushion their differing needs. It's impossible to know for sure, but the what-if looms over their strained relationship. Diana's legacy also touches King Charles in a complicated way. Their marriage was famously troubled, and many people still link Charles to Diana's heartbreak. Even as king, Charles faces a public that continues to adore Diana. Sometimes this perfect memory of her overshadows how people view him now. While Charles is keen on modernizing the monarchy and focusing on his own priorities, he can't fully escape comparisons to the people's princess. Anytime conflict arises with his sons, some spectators recall Diana's past struggles and wonder if history is repeating itself in a different form. The public's perception also factors in. Diana was charismatic, and her warmth drew people in. William and Harry each carry a piece of that into their public roles. But the lasting memory of Diana also reminds folks of the difficulties she faced, from media harassment to personal stress inside the palace. As Harry has aired his grievances, many fans of Diana see him as following in her footsteps, calling out what he views as an unkind system. Others believe Diana would have urged him to remain within the fold, finding a gentler way to handle disagreements. In the end, Diana serves as a guiding light and a complicated legacy for this royal family. Her influence is clear in how William and Harry approach their roles and in how the people view Charles's leadership. Though she's gone, her spirit continues to shape family ties, providing both comfort and a reminder of unresolved issues. Everyone in the family seems to keep a piece of Diana with them, whether they focus on her compassion or the lessons learned from her struggles. Her memory remains a key part of the conversation, reminding us that the human side of royalty can leave the biggest impact of all. The Queen's effect on the family. Queen Elizabeth II led the British monarchy for over 70 years, a remarkable record that gave her a steady hand in dealing with countless family challenges. Throughout her reign, she maintained a strict sense of duty. She rarely showed open conflict when it came to personal matters, preferring to keep any tensions behind palace doors. Many believe her calm and consistent approach helped hold the family together during times that could have escalated into more public drama. Her influence was visible in how she guided her children and grandchildren. She had a knack for balancing tradition with small steps toward modernity, such as allowing television cameras behind the scenes at certain royal events. When crises occurred, like divorces, scandals, or disagreements, she often leaned on the old royal strategy of never complain, never explain. In many cases, it seemed to work. The public tended to see her as above everyday squabbles, which helped preserve a sense of stability for the monarchy. Now that the Queen has passed away, there's a sense of a vacuum at the top. King Charles has assumed the throne, but he doesn't command the same level of long-earned trust his mother did. Her death may have opened the door for underlying family issues to pop up more openly. With her steady presence gone, disagreements that once seemed manageable, like the tensions surrounding Prince Andrew's scandals or Prince Harry's departure, feel more raw and harder to contain. Some people wonder if she favored certain family members over others. Rumors have floated around that Prince Andrew was particularly close to her, possibly leading him to expect more leniency when his personal life attracted controversy. In contrast, Prince Harry has hinted that he wished for more direct intervention from the Queen when he and Meghan felt mistreated. The Queen herself never confirmed if she had favorites. Several royal observers argue that her level-headed stance allowed her to treat all family members with composure, even if they occasionally felt they weren't getting enough personal attention. Still, family dynamics can be complicated. While the Queen projected unflappable composure, each relative had a different kind of bond with her. Charles knew her as both mother and reigning monarch, balancing affection with formality. Andrew seemed to rely on her for emotional support when public criticism grew loud. William grew up aware he was a future king and formed a special connection with his grandmother, seeing her as a mentor. Harry often described her with great warmth, even as he broke away from the royal fold. Everyone had their own story when it came to the Queen. Without the Queen's quiet guidance, it's fair to assume the four central royals, Charles, Andrew, William, and Harry, have lost a central figure who could smooth over conflicts. In the Queen's absence, each must figure out how to handle issues that now fall fully on their shoulders. It remains to be seen if they can preserve the unity she worked so hard to maintain, or if the loss of her calming presence will continue to widen the cracks already showing in the family's foundation. As personal grudges, public scandals, and generational divides continue to shape the royal family, the question remains, can they find common ground, or is this the beginning of a permanent fracture? The answer will depend on how open they are to change, compromise, and a willingness to leave old wounds behind. Whether they succeed or not will likely define the monarchy's role in a world that moves faster than ever. And for these royals, it's not just about saving face, it's about preserving a family unit that carries centuries of history, all while trying to stay relevant for generations yet to come.